21 minutes before 7, there is method to our madness. That is a tune by Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass called El Presidente. And we're playing it because we've got two guests in the studio. Alex Conant, who is Republican strategist and communications manager for Marco Rubio. Good morning to you, Alex.
Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Penny Lee, Democrat strategist and political commentator. Good morning to you, Penny.
Good morning.
I just asked you both whether there's anything we needed to plug for you, and the answer, surprisingly to me, was no. So what are you doing here in Australia, in the bottom of the world, in the middle of a presidential election campaign?
Well, apparently there's a lot of interest in Australia and what the Americans are doing in our election system. So we're here to talk about it, answer questions, talk about why Hillary Clinton hasn't won the Democratic nomination yet, and how Donald Trump won the Republican nomination.
I think, Alex, you have the more colorful time than I do.
This is true.
The human beings are famously not very good at predicting things, and I think recently, I don't know which particular online newspaper I read, it had a series of headlines where people were saying, "Don't worry, Trump won't win. Don't worry, this won't last. Trump can't win. Trump can't win." Human beings are terrible at predicting things. Who are the people who are making him win?
Republican primary voters. I mean, he won the Republican nomination by winning Republican primaries all across the country. Now, a lot of Republicans turned out to vote against him, and I actually worked for one of his opponents, a freshman senator from Florida named Marco Rubio, who came in third in the contest. But he won the nomination. Look, 17 Republicans ran for president this year. If you saw the debates we had, we couldn't even fit all the candidates on the stage. We had to have two debates because we have a really good field of Republican candidates across the country who thought that they could beat Hillary Clinton this fall. Nobody thought that Donald Trump would emerge from that field.
But at the end of the day, if I grab that phone and I look up the bookmaking websites, I'll find that Hillary Clinton is a red-hot favourite to defeat Donald Trump. Are the bookmakers mad, Penny?
No, not at all. I think that it bodes very well for Hillary Clinton. Look, Donald Trump has insulted his way across America, has alienated himself not only from minority voters but also women voters. He is in a very tough race to be able to actually garner the larger support. I mean, the fact that 100 million more Americans will vote for the general than they have in the primary speaks to where the largeness of where he's going to have to take this conversation. And right now, he just keeps continuing to tweet out 141 characters of insults to most Americans.
Alex, you were a strategist for Marco Rubio, so that if Marco Rubio said one thing 2 years ago and today said a different thing, it would be your job to walk his remarks backward or to say that he misspoke. Donald Trump, he doesn't have to worry about that. He says, I want a ban on assault weapons. No, there shouldn't be a ban. I'm pro-life. No, I'm pro-choice. We have to accept refugees from Syria. No, we have to send them back. And it doesn't seem to trouble him at all.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. And as someone who worked on one of his opponent's campaigns, I can't begin to tell you how frustrating that is. But his statements are full of contradictions and inconsistencies. And it's not something he said 10 years ago and then he said something different yesterday. He said something yesterday and then he'll say something totally different today.
And it doesn't hurt him.
So far, it has not hurt him. But it has hurt him with a lot of Republicans who are not yet ready to support him, not yet ready to endorse him, including Speaker Paul Ryan, who's the highest-ranking Republican in the country, who said last week he's not ready to support Donald Trump.
He said not yet. Some have said never.
Many have said never. Many have said not yet. And the only way, you talked about the odds makers a moment ago, the only way that Donald Trump is going to have any chance of winning this fall is if he can unite Republicans. And part of the reason he hasn't been able to unite Republicans yet is because of all of the inconsistencies in his statements.
Well, his slogan is "Make America Great Again." Now, does that mean that there is an undercurrent of feeling in the states that America is losing its greatness?
Absolutely. I mean, he's the Republican nominee because so many Republican primary voters, and I think a lot of independent voters as well, are deeply unhappy about the direction of our country under Barack Obama. And they think that Donald Trump is going to go to Washington, D.C. and shake up the establishment and change the direction of our country.
It's interesting. We speak to an American correspondent, and we'll do so very shortly on this program every day, from Los Angeles. And we've identified, John and I, that America has 4 obsessions when it comes to issues. Now, you tell me whether... And none of them are issues in Australia, which is interesting. We think America's 4 obsessions are guns, gay marriage, marijuana, and abortion, none of which are issues in Australia. Have we got that right?
Well, I think there's also some other issues.
But the ones we hear,
yeah, of course, the ones you
coming
hear,
out
and
of
those
there,
are
we
and those
always
are the
hear-
more in the social orientated. And yes, those are really hot button issues, and those are ones that are very emotional issues.
Yeah.
Those are ones that people tend to gravitate towards, especially if they're single-ishly focused. But I would say other issues that are out there is immigration is a huge
yeah.
issue
Well,
throughout our
that
country.
is an issue here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that is one in which the country is wrestling with and grappling with. Also, fiscal matters in the direction of where we're going to take the country, and then obviously we have issues on foreign policy, our engagement in the world and our standing in the world, and the types of areas in which we engage militarily or make the decision not to engage militarily.
Well, guns,
Alex, can we ask you this, Alex? Most Australians, it's hard to speak on behalf of most Australians. Most Australians that think that President Trump is a very bad idea, and that they would be worried, how on earth could this man be the leader of the free world? As a Republican, what do you think?
Well, I'm staying neutral in the race. I work for one of his opponents, and I tell people he hasn't earned my vote yet. I count me in with Speaker Ryan and a lot of the other Republicans that have deep concerns about many of Donald Trump's policies and many of his past statements. And so, he has work to do to win the vote of somebody like me. So I understand. I truly understand why so many Australians have deep concerns about Donald Trump. I would tell them on the current trajectory, he will not become president of the United States. On the current trajectory, he's going to lose to Hillary Clinton, and she'll be the next president. But that's why it's incumbent on him to speak to those concerns. I mean, if he wants to be president of the United States, he needs to go out and speak to the concerns of people like Speaker Paul Ryan, and frankly, voters like myself who want to see somebody who is more serious about government, who is more serious about limited government, and more serious about America's place in the world.
Nice of you both to come and join us. Do you get a chance to have any fun while you're here? We're
we've
very
seen-
proud of our city. So
It has been amazing. We just got into Melbourne, but we've been to Sydney, Canberra, Perth, Hobart. So we have seen a lot of this country, and it's been
now
just
you're-
absolutely fantastic.
now you're about to live. Now you're in Melbourne.
Yes.
All right, we will take this opportunity during when we go to a break to tell you what you should do in Melbourne.
Absolutely.
Thank you both for joining us in the studio.
Thank you.
Thank you.